Well, guys, they will just not stop building here in Southwest Florida. I am in Rotunda West today, and I just showed 6 new construction houses on the same block, just right in a row. All the same builder must have bought the whole block, and it's just vigorously building. Most of them have been sitting there for a little while, not surprisingly. One was built at ground level, which in the area it's in, I don't think was a great idea. The rest were on stem walls, so that tells me that they had a issue with flood insurance, probably on the first one they tried. The subsequent 5, they decided to raise up because it can get quite pricey, even down here in Rotunda West, depending on where you are. But I mean, everywhere you go in Southwest Florida right now, they're dropping subdivisions in. They just announced 10,000 more homes coming to Inglewood, courtesy of Llewellyn Park. Potential expansion. Pulte is opening another community down there. As you guys know, we have a ton of activity down the Burnt Store corridor, all up 75. It's really overwhelming. Some of these places, I don't know what at what price the homes make sense. Like if you take one place in Northport, Central Park, I walked through there. I did a tour through there. You guys know the prices are like $350 for the homes there, but the CDD fee is over $3,300 from what I understand. That's massive. They're usually not that high, especially in, I mean, like you can go to Welland Park and buy $1 million house and your CDD fee is maybe $2,800. And here they're trying to sell $350,000 homes with a $3,300 CDD fee in it. I don't see that working out in the end. A lot of places around here have the CDD. Really, like Beach Walk doesn't. I'd have to check on another area, but it can be a real deal killer. And some places with CDDs, like Gran Paradiso right now, as it's being reported, are dealing with absolute nightmare scenarios because some people don't know that these CDDs have their own boards. It's not just, like a bond you necessarily pay back. There's almost like a governing body to these things. They have seats. There's generally a certain amount of the community that has to be sold out before residents can take these seats. So they're held by the developers. And what's going on in Gran Paradiso is there's been a dispute over the irrigation charges. And I'll link this in the comments, link this in the description below so you can review it. And the water, it's gone to a legal matter, and the water has now been turned off to the irrigation system for Gran Paradiso. I don't know if it's back on yet, but as of that article, the whole community has had their irrigation shut down while the litigation is pending. So it's not just a bond or a tax you pay at the end of the year. CDDs can have vast impacts on areas you live in. Now, Rotunda West does not have a CDD. It's like an HOA light. There's deed restrictions here. There is an HOA fee, but for the most part, there's a lot of autonomy here. As you can see by some of the homes, you can put a hammock out like this guy here. I spin too far past the hammock. I don't know if you guys can see the hammock back there. So keep an eye out for that stuff, guys. Just something to keep in mind. It's kind of turned into a horror story up there. And the residents are fighting back. There's stuff all over Facebook. There's stuff all over the internet. But again, I will link a good article about it there. Kind of shows you some of the things that can occur. And again, like in an area like this, you're not really dealing with it. But again, you're not getting community centers, amenity centers, things that the CDDs tend to bring. As always, guys, if you like this video, please consider smashing that like button, maybe subscribing to the channel. It helps me out immensely, and I appreciate everybody who already has. We'll get back to the video. Speaking of new homes, I promised a few weeks ago I would go down to Burnt Store and show you guys the new Taylor Morrison builds down there at Esplanade. I didn't get a chance to put it in a previous video, so I'm going to cut it in here. All right, guys, so this is a Palazzo. This is Taylor Morrison's Esplanade at Starling on Burnt Store Road. We're going to spin you through. This thing is 3 beds, 3 baths with a den, over 3,000 square feet. It's massive. Right when you come in the entryway, you can kind of see that, but we spun off here to the first bedroom. Again, I always like when they start the house like this with kind of an in-law suite right when you enter in. It's great for guests, but as you can see, it's very broad. It's very grand. Obviously, we're going to get you back there in the pool too. Here's your laundry room. That is the entrance from your garage. So a lot of space in here. I like this laundry room. It's sink included. Sometimes these can get a little tight. I'm showing the garage because people like to see the garage. Everyone asks, hey, show the garage. Well, there it is. They're storing stuff in there. So we're heading over to the second bedroom here. right on our left. And this bedroom is a nice size, but it also has its own dedicated bath. So you really have 2 guest suites before you even get into the formal living area on this property. I think that that's really cool. Another reason why it's so massive. We'll get you back out into the hallway. Now, that's your entryway, also very nice, very grand. Here is your technically den, study, whatever you want to call it. There is not a closet in here, but I think some of these models do come with a 4th bedroom. Your dining area, well, you know, you've got multiple dining areas in this, but I would say this is your dedicated dining area over here on the left, your living space, and we'll spin you through the kitchen. As you guys can see, this is gas. It's a gas community. Got a nice farmer's sink there. I'll give you kind of a slow pan. I like Taylor Morrison does the extra sink on the island too. You guys can see that there in the bottom left. Give you a slow pan, kind of show you what the whole living space looks like. Another little dining area in front of us if you choose to use it. We've got the double ovens, nice coffee or wine bar you can set up over here. I like the sliders. They went across pretty much the entire living space with the sliders. So I opened them up to show you guys. It's just, you'll get an awesome cross breeze in here. Pretty much in the winter. Obviously, you don't want to do this in the summer, but the living space is just enormous. This is your primary bedroom. Also massive, gives you an awesome view of the pool, lake, whatever this home, wherever you put it, is going to end up looking at. You're going to just basically get a great viewpoint there every time you wake up. Very nice primary bath, dual entry shower here. You got dual vanities with a seating area in the middle. Now, some Taylor Morrison models, they have the pass-through laundry chute in the primary closet. This one doesn't, but it's still a very, very spacious closet. I think they might have been able to line it up. I'm thinking of the configuration on how I walk through here. It might have worked too, but not on this particular model. So we'll give you one more pan of the bathroom. Very nice size. One more shot of the primary bedroom, and then we're going to spin you out to the pool. Yeah, and you can see these pocket sliders are awesome. Just opens up the whole space. You got a really nice covered area, outdoor kitchen here on the right. Plenty of space for outdoor dining as well. I just want to give one more peek because I just want to peek back in there because there's so much of this wall is open. I love it. And of course, you have your pool, your sun deck, and your water features as well as spa with that beautiful lake in the background. So let me know what you guys think of that model down there. Again, dropping these things everywhere. It's becoming basically infighting because I think I've mentioned to you guys before, when people come to Southwest Florida to look for homes, not even just Southwest Florida, they could be coming to the state looking from the Panhandle to the Keys. Like everybody's just like, I want to be near water. I'm going to look at the whole West Coast. So you have a lot of instances now where these builders, under different names, but the same builders, like Devasta is Pulte, Semtex is Pulte, and Del Webb, all kind of competing against their own communities because it used to be a real distance problem. But now if somebody's looking from St. Pete to Naples, they're going to run into multiple developments that are built by the same exact builder, and they're competing for the same exact customer. So it's interesting to see how they're going to have to really they're undercutting each other at this point. Resale's out the window. Resale knows at this point they can't compete. It's been blatantly obvious now for about a year that resale's got to be prime location or prime pricing if you want to beat out new construction in a lot of areas. Though there is a benefit too, because you don't have to go into a development. Some people don't like developments. I personally don't have a problem with them. It's pros and cons, but for the most part, builders, I don't think they're even competing with resale anymore. I think they're just competing with themselves. It's like, what community do you like? Like going to Welland Park, you can go into 5 communities, 6, really 7, and probably find new construction, and they've got more coming. And it's going to be interesting how it shakes out because they're not stopping the building. The building is just continuously expanding, regardless of all the data that we keep seeing. And this is why we have articles coming out stating home sales are plunging across Southwest Florida. Plunging. They're gone. Sellers are complaining about not getting any showings. That's true, guys. And I've said this before. I think the media is a little late to the party here, but there's some homes that will do $100,000, $150,000 price drop. Now, don't get me wrong, they're priced high. And then no one shows up to the door still. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, there's things getting listed. that are getting absolutely no viewings. So Wink News did an interview with one of these sellers down in Bonita Springs, which is getting hit exceedingly hard. If you guys, again, saw my data video, you kind of know that. But we've been down in Bonita Beach, Bonita Springs. Things are sitting very long, very long. So they asked him what's going on with trying to sell his house. And I quote, "I think I've been on the market for about 4 months. I'm surprised about how little traffic I've had to the house." A homeowner in Bonita Springs who's been trying to sell his home told Wink. Well, I think we all know what can increase the foot traffic. What do you guys think will increase his foot traffic? Should he stage the home, maybe have an open house, put some ads in the paper, balloons out on the front? What do you think would probably get more people in his house? Lower the price. Lower the price. That's it now, guys. That's the name of the game. You got to be the best priced in most of the areas, or you got to be the best property pretty much anyone's ever seen. It is slow goings here because people have the pick of the litter. They can take their time and get whatever they want. What I have noticed, and I think people are smart. So a lot of open houses, I've been seeing people come to them and just blatantly say, "I can't afford this house. This is out of my price range." And it got me scratching my head. Why would you come here? Why would you come here and waste your time and waste my time? And then it hit me. Oh, you want to see the house. So when that $100,000 price drop comes, you don't even have to come back. You just send the offer in. So I think, and that's my suspicion, guys. I don't know that 100%, but that's my suspicion is why a lot of people are attending open houses, really not anywhere near where they want to pay because they're anticipating large price drops eventually, especially if it's only been on the market for a few days. They're going to sit and wait. So that's an interesting dynamic that I, again, anecdotally am experiencing. Oh, we got another new build right here. Another new build. They're dropping these things all over the place. I mean, Rotunda's area, the inventory, oh my God, there's another one. I kind of got upset because I was like, well, why didn't I shoot the video on the road that had the 6 houses I showed? But my buyers, they were still staying in the neighborhood. And I'm like, they don't know me from the channel. So I'm like, I don't want to be a weirdo. And we start walking around a camera. Have to explain all that. I had dress clothes on. I changed out of them in one of these models, actually. But I guess this is going to do because anywhere you go down here, you're going to get a ton of these new constructions. And it's almost as bad as South Gulf Cove here in Rotunda right now. The amount of listings on the market here is crazy. Crazy. Just pull up Zillow and the Rotunda area. It rivals South Gulf Cove. I don't know the months of inventory, but surely the amount is very high and very comparable. Now, they're picking on the normal punching bags, guys, in this article. They're saying in some of these cities, including Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Punta Gorda, of course, the median sale price of homes is finally falling after years of going vertical. And we know that. We've been keeping track on that. As far as the pending sales go, sales basically falling drastically. We did see in the data review that we did that pending sales were down all across Florida. It wasn't just Southwest Florida. It was almost double digits in a lot of areas year over year on what was under contract, the drops we saw. So it's not just a Southwest Florida thing. They're focusing on Southwest Florida right now because this is where the biggest numbers are. But I suspect we're going to start seeing this statewide, if not this year, potentially 2026. Because a year ago when I said, hey, this stuff here is going to start spreading, no one believed me. No one believed what was going on here. And it is spreading. Now, there's pending sales down in areas like Miami, Orlando we were looking at. There's another video before this if you guys want to check out all the numbers. But, I mean, it's undeniable now. And as far as price drops go, these are anecdotal. But just let's take Northport, for example. I sell a lot in Northport. I sold a 1,700 square foot home built in 2004. In 2022, everything needed to go on this house. Roof was end of life. Pretty much everything inside needed to go. It was an 04 house. Everything was 18 years old. So in 21 or 22, I don't know. It was one of those years. Anyway, I sold a 1,700 square foot house that needed a complete rehab for $400,000. One of these the rental conglomerates bought it, paid cash, didn't do inspections, And then we saw them there weeks later, tearing the roof off, redoing all the appliances, redoing the flooring, and putting it up for rent. Now they couldn't get what they wanted. If they wanted to rent it for $3,000, it eventually dropped to $2,200 and they rented it. But I sold a 1,700 square foot 04 house for $400,000. And in that time frame, here we are to last week. I just sold a 2,400 square foot house built in 2022 in Northport. That was practically brand new. I mean, this thing was mint as far as resale houses go. I sold that for $350,000. That is the huge discrepancy, how much the market has changed now. And quite frankly, that $350,000 build 2 years ago, that probably would have been $470,000 with no pool. And, you know, they didn't pay asking price. We got a little aggressive, but 2,400 square foot house for $350,000, guys. Unheard of when I was selling 1,700 square foot beaters 3 years ago for $400,000. That's all really the illustration you need to know what's going on here. Now, is that $350,000 house still more than it was or would have been in 2019? Absolutely. That's just the way it is. And with inflation, I don't know if that changes. But, you know, now everybody's catching on. All the media reports are catching on. And I'm wondering if it's going to continue to spread out of the Southwest Florida region. God, it's just one block. It's just one block. For sale sign, for sale sign. We got a for sale sign up there. So, a couple new construction homes on this block and a couple of existing resales. This is just one block in Rotunda, guys. Rotunda's like a wheel with spokes, and I'm on one of them. And I've passed this much real estate either being built or being sold just on one block. I'm telling you. Look up the Wheeler Rotunda and how many listings. The new construction here is insane. Insane. I was showing places here last year. I mean, new construction houses wanted like $750,000, $800,000. I'm like, oh, it's just not going to happen. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen. It's hard to do that for certain waterfront sections of South Gulf Cove across the street now. So, you know, reality is hitting. I'm seeing things come down. Very, very, very competitive here. Now, this looks like I misjudged. This is a lot for sale. Golf course lot. And Rotunda does have a golf course in the center of it, guys. So you can see it back there. I misjudged. I said house. It's a lot. We'll call it property for sale. So, woof. Getting hot here finally. I am looking forward to it. I love it in August when I'm just roasting. I hate coming out of my house in Florida, ever. Even in the morning and having to put a sweatshirt on. I can't stand it. Pants, ugh, not for me, unless I'm working. So, all right, guys, that's all I got for today. If you like this video, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.